What's going on, you handsome motherfucker? I build and sell AI operating systems that automate entire businesses. And in this video, I'm gonna show you the ultimate database agent. Now, this agent has access to every single table in our AI operating system. And that allows this agent to literally review an entire business in just one prompt. And it's absolutely insane. And in this video, guys, I'm going to show you the working demo. I'm going to break it down and how it works, and then we're going to build it again from scratch so you guys have your own CHEIF database agent in your AI operating systems that you can sell at scale. And by the way, everything that you're seeing in this video is going to be included in the No Code Academy. That's where I teach you guys how to build and sell AI operating systems. And my AI operating system, Creator OS, is linked down below so you can check out how that works. But I need you to do something crucial because I'm pretty sure your attention span is absolutely cooked, my guy. And what I'm going to show you will literally knock your dick off. Channel all of the remaining attention span that is existing in your soul. And I need you to channel it towards this video. This is literally the future, guys. And what I'm building feels like the future of social media marketing. And I want to give it all away to you, but you just need to lock the in. All I'm seeing in my academy from the people that are succeeding is locking the in. So channel that and actually dial in here. All right, so here's the CHEIF database RAG agent, and what we're gonna work on is just the first agent here, which is your warm-up agent. So this thing has access to my entire social media platform and all of my different social media accounts, has access to my business analytics and all of my AI agents that are actually doing things, like sending Twitter messages, sending LinkedIn messages, and editing videos at scale. And there's a bunch of other AI agents that are actually running my entire operating system, but this is just the example that we're gonna work on today because I need you guys to actually learn this. This is super important. And so we're just going to rebuild this exact agent. Now, what is this actually tracking? What are all these different nodes? These nodes are every single piece of data that has been stored from this AI operating system called Creator OS. And so if we go inside of the database, we can see that there's 39 different tables that this CHEIF database agent can have access to. Now, what's crazy is how insane these prompts are. So we're going to start with the social messages table, and the prompt we can give it, since it has access to all of my social media DMs, is how many messages have we received and what are the hot leads for the thing that we're selling? Because we have DM closers that are actually sending messages on our behalf. And so we don't actually have the time to check on this table. We don't have the time to check on this data. And that's where this agent comes in. So I just wrote, check my social messages table and review all of the messages and tell me the hot leads I have for my company, Creator OS. And I'm just gonna send this in, and it's gonna go to the Gemini Flash model and then immediately to the social messages table. This social messages table step grabs every single message in my AI operating system, like literally hundreds of rows. And then that gets sent to the Gemini chat model. And in real time, guys, you saw me get this message. So we can see it got messages from Clark Hardy, Johnny Kotler, No Code J, Samuel, Kenny, and Samuel's potentially going to get me involved with the Replit team. So that's really, really cool. So stay tuned for what he has to say about that. But what's really awesome about this is I'm able to now see all of the hot leads for my offer. For example, Kenny is an actual lead that responded to my AI agent, and this CHEIF database agent was able to identify that this person wanted what we're selling. And if we go inside of Creator OS and we go to the preview and we go to the social messages, we can actually find that conversation with Kenny to verify that the CHEIF management agent is doing what we wanted it to do. And so here's the conversation with Kenny. I'm just going to open that up and we can see that he's responding and actually wanting to hop on a call. So this is all pretty ridiculous. And he's literally saying, I'm expecting to hear from you. And I'm not even responding to him because we already have clients like completely filled up. Like it's ridiculous. So anyways, now that's just the first table, right? So let's move on to another insane result, because what the operating system actually does for our clients is we scale their social media platforms. And so they want to see how fast their socials are actually growing since joining Creator OS. And so that's the next prompt we're going to say. All right, so the prompt to the social profile analytics table is going to say, check the social profile analytics and manually summarize the growth rate for all of the users' social media profiles since joining Creator OS. And we're just going to pop that in. And it's now going to think about which table to grab the social profile analytics table. And now we're back to the Flash, and we can open up that social profile analytics, and we can see literally all of the most insanely in-depth analytics that you could possibly get for every social platform. Like, look at this. It's telling me the views, the videos, the likes, like literally everything that it could possibly grab. And we just have to wait for this response for our clients, because they don't even have to see the agent on this end. They're actually going to be able to see the agent right inside of their operating system. So it's literally right here. And I'm just showing you guys the back end. And so here we go. We got the response, and there's a couple of users inside of my own operating system. And so we can see here for user 2 that their growth rate for the first 10 days is none. Then for Instagram, it's none. For YouTube, their growth rate over those 10 days was 2.5%. For Twitter, it was also 2.5%. For TikTok, it was 0.01%. And then another user. So now Facebook for user number 4. They didn't grow on Facebook. They actually decreased in Instagram. They grew 3.5% on YouTube over the past 10 days. And they grew 2% on Twitter over the past 10 days. And so this gives us an entire overview for them to see, since you joined our operating system, this is how much you grew. These are all the leads that came in, and this is what our human in the loops are doing to close deals for you. But it goes even further than that. We can also look at the social post analytics. So like the watch time, the clicks on your videos, the likes, the comments, the subscribers, all that fun stuff inside of your social post analytics. And then guys, we can talk about the agent analytics, because we have AI agents that are doing marketing campaigns based off of the different things that we have instructed it to do. And so the Twitter outreach agent is sending 50 messages a day to the people that have liked my Twitter posts. And that Kenny example that turned into a hot lead from this workflow. The next one is the LinkedIn outreach agent. This agent has scraped leads that are interested in social media marketing or are already social media managers. And then it goes out and makes connection requests to them. So now guys, the next prompt that I'm going to show you is all 3 agent analytics at the same time. All right, so I just said, check the Twitter outreach agent analytics and summarize how it's performing. Check the LinkedIn outreach agent and tell me how it's performing. Check the long form to short agent and tell me how it's performing. And we're just going to send that in. And so now the Gemini model should grab all 3 at the same time and then report back individually to the Gemini Flash model, which it did. And now we're going to see what kind of response we get. But in the meantime, I can actually show you what it should be talking about, because inside of the operating system, we can actually already see the performance of all of the models that we're asking for. But this is also another way for us to see. So here we go. Here's a summary of the performance of your outreach and connection and content generation agents. Twitter outreach agent. The Twitter outreach agent is actively sending messages and queries. The provided data shows 120 outreach attempts with all recorded entries as having an active status, meaning we've already generated 120 connections with this agent's workflow, but the actual projection is around 153 acceptances. That is coming out to a 24.4% acceptance rate. Across all of our users on Creator OS, that industry average is 25%. And so that's what it talks about. Then it talks about the long form to shorts agent. We've turned multiple videos into 39 short form videos that have been successfully processed. And every short form video gets analyzed by another AI model, and it gives a virality score. And that virality score on average is 75 out of 100, which is pretty decent. And so this response is pretty insane once again, but for our clients, this is another way for them to easily see how everything is performing in their business. And now before we build it together, I'm just going to talk about a teaser of how this thing can actually expand, right? So we have like the inbound phone agent, the Instagram leads agent, but you can also have like email, inbound phone calls, outbound phone calls, SMS, all the different text messages that were sent. And then you can connect all of your CRM APIs. So how many new leads were generated, how many new sales were generated, how many new clients we closed, like all of these different things can also be associated to your database agent, because it's just looking at the operating systems table. So that's all you really have to do at the high level. And so now we're actually just going to build it completely from scratch. And so I'm just going to open up an N8N instance, and we're going to get started as if I'm a beginner at building my own CHEIF database agent again. Everything that you're seeing on the screen here is a tutorial that you can use end to end. And so like the social analytics tables here is just part of our social media app build. And so that video is going to be linked down below, and the entire code base for that app is also included in the Academy. So all you have to do is just clone that app and you're good to go. Same thing with all of these agents. You can just come into the Academy, learn how they work, implement them for yourself, and then wire them to one operating system. Once your operating system starts storing a lot of data, then you'll see how powerful this CHEIF database agent is. If you don't have an operating system built yet, that's totally okay, because you just still need to learn how this works. I'm going to click create new workflow. And the first step is going to be on chat message, because we're actually going to connect this to the operating system as well. So the user can just send in a prompt, just like how we have it on the CHEIF management page here. And so what we're going to do is make the chat publicly available, and we're also going to turn it into an embedded chat, and then we'll click out. And the next thing we're going to do, guys, is add our AI agent, and we're going to click out. And then we're going to add our chat model. So the chat model we're going to use here, guys, is going to be Gemini Flash 2.5. It's free, and it can take all the context that we need for it to actually understand every table in the database, because some other models, like the reasoning models, won't be able to do this. Okay, sweet. So now we want to actually get this little system working, and we're going to say, hey, and we're going to see what happens. Oh, okay. So it's all connected here. That looks nice. And we are now going to start adding our tools. So the way to add your database to your agent is through a Postgres SQL database. So it doesn't have to be on Replit. It doesn't have to be on any of the AI platforms. You just need a database, an SQL database. So that could be like Subabase, Neon. There's a bunch of different options. We are a big fan of Replit. So we use the Replit database, which is Neon, which is a Postgres database. And so we're just going to click on the tool tab. We're going to search for that Postgres tool, and we're going to select it. So when you guys first select the Postgres node, we need to connect our entire database APIs to this. And so we're going to click create new credential. And we have to fill in these fields. And so I'm just going to put the screen at half size, and then I'm going to put the operating system on the right-hand side. And then for the operating system, I'm just going to open up the secrets, because that has all of the database APIs that we need. And I'm going to now paste it on the left-hand side. And so the first value that we need is called PG host. So we're going to grab that secret value, and then we're going to paste it in the local host. Then the next one is the database. And so I'm just going to go and grab the PG database, and I'm going to paste it in as well. And then we need to grab the PG user, and then lastly, the PG password. Cool. Then we're going to scroll down, and we're going to click the ignore SSL issues, and we're going to click save, and that should give us a connection. Once that connection's made, this agent now has access to every table, and we just have to wire them all in. And so in the node, we need to now set up the description, the operation, and which table we want to be sourcing from. And so the operation that we're going to be doing for the management agent is going to always be the select rows from a table, because we're only going to be reading data. We're not going to be changing or inserting data. So we're going to select that, and then we're going to click on the drop down from the list. Now we can see I have access to every single table. And so we're going to click out, and now we're going to start designing our CHEIF management agent so we understand how everything actually flows. So the first sticky note I'm going to add for my operating system is a social analytics sticky note, which is going to store all of my social analytics tables. And that is where this first node will live. And so we're just going to open this baby up, and we're going to connect our first table. So we're going to click on this drop down, and any one of the tables that are associated to our social analytics, we're going to be pulling. User social profile analytics, we're going to select that. And we also have an option to choose how many tables we want to pull it from. We're going to pull every single row for this specific table, because what we want to do with the social profile analytics table is track the growth of our users' socials over time. And so we're going to click return all, and then we'll just click out, and we can rename this table node to social profile analytics, and then we can just start duplicating. So the next table that we want to wire in will be social messages. So there we go, social messages. Now with this table, we actually just want to return like the most recent 100 or 200 or 300 because the AI agents can't handle thousands of rows of data yet. And so that's number one. Number two is that you basically just want to check your social messages from today because that is what's relevant. Like what new leads did we get in? How many new messages did our team send out? So you need to play around with this. But in this case, I'm really just going to set it up to return the most recent 50 rows. So sweet. Once it has that set up, we're going to change the operation to select, make sure it's that, and we'll click out. And then just rename this to social messages. Cool. So next one we'll add, guys, is going to be our social post analytics. So on the post level. So how did my TikTok do? How did my Instagram post do? How did my YouTube post do? That's what this table is meant for. So we're going to go grab it. There we go, post analytics. And once again, we just want to see the post analytics from the past week, let's say. And so we want to set this, let's say again at 50. Chances are we'll be uploading around 50 to 200 posts across all platforms every week for our clients. And so we'll set this at 200. Cool, guys. So now I'm just going to grab the system prompt that we have for our CHEIF database agent. And so it basically says, you are the chief operating agent. You have access to every table in the database. When asked, you should review all of the data in a given table for all of the tables and give the user a calculated analytic business response orientated towards optimizing their business and the agents that are integrated, the tables you have access to, and the explanation of what they are storing. And so for your guys' operating systems, in the system message, you need to instruct this agent about what these tables are and what they do and what data they have. So like a simple one here would be the social profile analytics. So it shows all of the connected social profile analytics and the history of the growth of these channels. So then when the agent checks it, it goes, oh, I know what to do. And so I'm just going to paste in my own system message, but I do recommend that based on your own tables and your own systems, this needs to be your own message in the system message. And we'll keep it as that for the social analytics tables that the agent has access to. And now we're going to add in the AI agents tables that we want the database agent to have access to. So we're going to add another sticky note, and we'll just duplicate these a couple of times. And in this use case, guys, we're just going to check on 2 of the active AI agents in the operating system just to show you how it works. And what those are going to be are the Twitter outreach and the LinkedIn outreach agents. And then we'll wire these up to the agent, and we'll open them up. And now we want to go and grab the LinkedIn agent data table. So we're going to scroll down. Here we go, LinkedIn agent data. Now this one only inserts 1 row every single day, so we don't mind just returning all rows. The agent will easily be able to handle that. And so yeah, we'll just click out, and then we'll go grab the Twitter agent data. There we go, Twitter outreach agent. Let's give it a click. All right, let's click out. Cool, now we can click save. So we basically just recreated a mini version of the CHEIF database agent in like 2 minutes. And now we're just going to test the prompting. And the way that you guys can wire this up into your operating system is in another tutorial where I show you guys how to connect 10 AI agents to one system. And so if you guys need to learn how to connect this agent's chat to the operating system, that's where you find it. So we're just going to test it here. All right, so we changed up the prompt a little bit. I said, check the social profile analytics table and manually check the daily follower growth of all the users that are on the Creator OS operating system. So this time, the response should say the numbers of followers we're gaining every day versus the percentage of growth. So we'll see how that looks. All right, guys, so there we go. So this is the new agent that we just built, the new database agent's response. And it said, I've analyzed the provided social profile analytics data to determine the daily follower growth rate for each user across their connected social media platforms. So daily follower growth rate of Facebook, 0, Instagram, 0, YouTube, growth rate, 73 followers a day. Twitter growth rate, 3 followers a day. TikTok, 1 follower a day. Facebook on the other account, 0 followers a day. Instagram, we're losing half a follower a day. Twitter, we're gaining 2.5. LinkedIn, we don't use the API, so that's totally okay. YouTube, 60 followers a day on this account, and TikTok, we're losing 3.5 followers a day on this account. So What's cool is that it also gave us a complete breakdown of the analytics and its thoughts, and then it gave us recommendations. That is the base database agent that I wanted to show you guys, because now you guys can add on top of it. And I just want to show you some teasers of things that are going to expand in the future, because we can have a complete vector store actually running in the background. That is the deep brain of this database agent, and that's going to be using a RAG vector store. But on top of that, guys, we can be running this agent on a scheduled trigger. And so once a day, this agent can check all of the tables, make a response, and send a text message to our clients to let them know how the entire operating system is actually working. So they don't even have to ever prompt this agent if they don't want to. And so I hope this helped, guys, because this is one of my most cutting edge agents, and it's what's helping me scale literally to the moon. And so I hope it helped, and I'll see you guys in the next one.